YOLO people. Okay, so normally I do this in the morning and I usually have a cup of coffee with me, but this is going to be a little bit later. I had a busy day today, so I didn't really have the time to get in front of the camera earlier today. Didn't have the time to do an RG's briefings episode. I, had a lot of emails, phone calls to do, trying to sell insurance out here. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys about the Don Lemon interview that he had with Bill Maher, that apparently Black Americans can't be MAGA supporters, that if you're a Black MAGA, you can't be rational. And a few things, because again, I don't want to take too much time, but I just thought to myself, Don, are you absolutely ridiculous? Like Bill Maher said it, I think it's incredibly offensive what he said, but this is America. Go ahead, be as offensive as you want to be. You have the right to free speech. Go ahead and say it, but it doesn't really help your situation. I don't think he quite gets it. I don't think he understands this is why the Democrats lost. I don't think he understands this is why the Democrats are continuing to lose support, that they have the lowest approval ratings among the American people right now, that the voters are just not happy with what it is that they're seeing. And part of it is because they keep playing the same stupid game over and over and over again. That, oh, if you're MAGA, you're racist, you're stupid, you're just all these terrible things, you're xenophobic, you're homophobic, you're transphobic. It's just, no, apparently that if you are common sense and you like the idea of restoring, not just sanity, but also tradition back into your nation, that somehow this is a problem. Now, with my generation as a millennial, this has never happened before. We've never had a president like Donald J. Trump. Like, even in his first term, he was not like how he is now, right? I mean, in all the 21st century, you've never actually had a president actually do everything that they say that they were going to do, right? I mean, President Bush said that he was going to stop the waste spending. President Obama said he was going to stop the waste spending. President Trump, in his first term, said that he was going to cut out the deep state. Obviously, did not. And look at all the problems that ensued because of it, right? They're pissed about Doge and they want to stop all the federal cuts that we're seeing, and it's just nonsense. I mean, everything that Trump said he wanted to do, the American people voted for, Black Americans included, not at unbelievably high rates, but enough of us that it did show the Democrats are losing sway with Black voters, even Black women. Who knew? Even Black women like myself chose to vote for President Donald J. Trump and to vote for the America First ticket all the way down the line. Like, I did my research. I didn't just vote Republican all the way down the line. I did the research. I started looking at every single person who's saying that they were Republican, who was looking like that they were going to have similar ideas. Because again, you can't just be a Republican. You have to be a Republican who has America First values, right? If you're going to be a Democrat, you have to be a Democrat with America First values, because it's not about party. This is about values. Vote your values, not the party. Your loyalty should lie with your God, with your family, with your people, and that's how that should be. This is why I voted the way that I voted. So, no, Don, this isn't me being unreasonable. This isn't me being irrational here. I actually thought about why I was going to vote for President Donald J. Trump. I'm sick of the crazy spending. I'm sick of having us being involved in wars that have absolutely nothing to do with us. I'm sick of seeing crazy prices for gas and groceries. And side note, you guys, there was a story that just came out. I saw it on Fox Business today that egg prices dropped dramatically. It could be the fact that there was an investigation into why egg prices are so high, that it seemed like that there was collusion going on with the egg production, right? That maybe everybody was just agreeing that the prices were going to be unbelievably high, and then next thing you know, you're seeing prices go from being $8 to $5, and it's like, can't wait to go grocery shopping, can't wait to buy eggs. Like, I'm just very excited to go out there and buy eggs just to see what the price change is looking like. I told you guys in earlier videos, when Trump was elected, I said this, that I can't wait for prices to go down just to tell Biden voters, told you so. Like, looking forward to that. So this isn't that because we're being irrational, Don. That's not what this is at all. Now, you talk about being offensive here. I mean, yo, ridiculous. Ridiculous. That if you're Black MAGA, you're irrational. That you can be a Black Republican, but you can't be a Black MAGA. What does MAGA stand for? What does America First stand for? What are the values here? Well, what it means is we're tired of coming last. We're tired of being taken advantage of. We're tired of being overly taxed. We're tired of seeing the government get larger and larger and our way of life get shorter. I mean, I think Ronald Reagan said it best, right? Inflation only happens because the government spends too much, not because the people do. That seems about the case, right? That when you're trying to go after masculinity, men don't like this very much, including Black men. Black men like the idea that they can be the leader of their household. Black men like the idea that they can go out there and get good jobs and make as much money as they possibly can. Women like the idea of being secure, even with their husbands or independently. They like the idea that they can go out there and get jobs, because that obviously hurts women when they can't go out there and get jobs. Hurts women. Having a bad economy hurts women. That when you can't buy groceries, either as a single person or as a mother, a married mother at that, whether you're a married mother, single mother, doesn't matter. But if you can't afford groceries, this obviously hurts a lot of people. So, I mean, women are out here voting for Trump because, well, they want a better economy, they want security, men want to protect masculinity. So, all of that during the campaign, Don. So, this isn't because if you're Black MAGA that you're irrational. This is you want your bottom line to be met. Okay? You don't want to be put in the middle of wars that put our people at risk. You don't like the idea that masculinity gets shot to hell, which of course, Don, you know nothing about because your gay ass just absolutely has no idea what it means to be masculine. You have no idea what it means. And I hope I offended you. I hope I offended you, Don, because guess what? You offended me. I'm not irrational. Not irrational. I know why I voted for President Trump. I know why I voted conservatively. I know why I'm a conservative. I know why I'm a Christian America first supporter. Like, I know why. I thought about it. I looked at the values. I read the books. I listened to the interviews. I listened to both sides. I listened to why the Democrats don't like it. This is when I was still trying to decide whether or not I was even a real conservative or not, right? Like, I listened to both sides. This was during Trump's coming down the escalator. I actually listened to people who I disagreed with at the time, did the research, didn't just listen to people. I didn't just do what they told me to do. I did the research. I did go looking into it and made a conscious decision. I like the Orange Man. I like what he's trying to do. I don't look to him for my moral guidance. That's what Jesus is for. Thank you very much. I'm not irrational. I'm not a racist. I'm not a homophobe. I'm not a, transphobe. Sorry, I don't think transgenders are a real thing. I mean, we know that they're going around cutting their private parts off, but this is delusion. And I think I'm actually being quite kind when I say that we should do something about their delusion, because I don't think it's nice or kind to let people run around here like it's okay to be crazy. I don't think that's a good thing for them. I think we're doing them harm if we say that this is something that they can go around doing. This doesn't make me a hateful person. In fact, I think it's quite the opposite. Am I a xenophobe? Call me a xenophobe. I mean, this is the idea of being afraid of, immigration. Like, yo, people, my father is a Panamanian. He immigrated into this country. I would not exist had it not been for immigration. I mean, my goodness. This isn't about trying to say no to all immigration. This is about making sure that we can preserve the identity of the United States. Speak English. I don't see that's to be unreasonable. There's only two genders, not unreasonable. I don't want America to be caught up in all these ridiculous wars. It's not unreasonable. I don't like the idea that we get taken advantage of by countries that say they are our allies. This is not unreasonable. This is not irrational. Before you speak, Don, maybe you should look at the reasons for why your party lost dramatically, why your party has had dismal approval ratings, why your party's in free fall, why they're scrambling, trying to find candidates for the next presidential election. You guys know what I think. I think it's Josh Shapiro. They can go ahead and say Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom. It's Josh Shapiro. I mean, come on. The guy makes an interview on Bill Maher. The guy's trying to get national presence. I think that's the idea. They understand they need to get into the center, that you're not going to get where you want to get if you're just going to be offensive to majority of the country that voted for the guy. Okay, there are Black Americans who are voting Republican. There are Black Americans who are considering themselves to be America first. I'm not the only one. Candace Owens, ABL, that's Anthony Brian Logan, that's I would say Anton Daniels, you know, Brandon Tatum, Tim Scott. You can have your debates about it. He's very more reserved, I would say, kind of a quiet spoken conservative, but ultimately does seem like he is America first, right? I mean, this is not a new thing, not a phenomenon. I've been America first, I've been MAGA since the guy was in office back in his first term. So this is not a new thing. This is not a phenomenon. I think the only reason why he's even addressing it is because you're seeing a lot more Black Americans choose to go with Trump. It definitely, in my opinion, I think it started when the guy got shot in the face, survived it, and was like, I'm coming back, not with a vengeance, but I'm coming back to do what the Lord saved me to do. And I think that resonated with a lot of Black men. I think Black women, like myself, thought this guy is badass. This is what it means to be a man, someone who's willing to put himself at risk to protect the people he cares about. That's a man. That's what we want. Don, you wouldn't know a damn thing about it because your gay behind has absolutely no idea what it means to protect the people that you actually care about, because all you cared about was your damn self. So go ahead, say what you're going to say. It's only proving to conservatives like myself why your party's in free fall. Bill Maher tried to help you. You didn't want to take the help. That's your fault. But I hope you're offended by this video, Don, because you offended me by saying that I was irrational for being a Black MAGA person. I'm not irrational. I just don't like seeing my country being taken advantage of. I don't like that being a Christian country somehow is offensive. I don't like that we're getting pulled into wars that have absolutely nothing to do with us, and our so called allies are okay with dragging us into the mud and forcing us into conflicts that have nothing to do with our people whatsoever. It's not irrational, it's just how we feel. And we want a president who actually takes advantage of his power and the power of our Constitution to do what is best for his people. That's the idea. That's the goal. That's what we voted for. And I don't care if you don't like it. That's your business. But, maybe next time think before you speak. Maybe next time don't just say that you think black people who are conservative or America First in MAGA are problematic, racist, xenophobes. Stop being hateful. This does not work anymore. You're going to have to get a little bit more creative now. That's not enough. And all you've done is just make people not like you. When you've got people like Chris Cuomo calling you crazy and asking if you were high when you said this, you should know you have a problem. So maybe come out here and say how it came out is not what you meant. Maybe you meant something else. Maybe it's because you just don't understand it. That's fine. That's fair. You don't understand how a black person can be MAGA and you'd like to know. Maybe talk to a black American who is MAGA without you being offensive, and you might get the answers you're looking for. I would have respected that if you said, I don't understand it. I don't understand how a black person could be America First. I can understand a black person being Republican because historically speaking, we've been Republican. Obviously, not in these last couple of decades, but prior to the welfare state, prior to LBJ, we were, historically Republican. So it's not surprising to find black Republicans. But why be a Trump supporter? Why be America First? Why that? And if you don't understand, that's fine. Ask, try to get some answers. Ask and say, hey, I would like to sit down and talk to an America First conservative who is a black person. Ask and you shall receive. And I'm sure there would have been people who would have been willing to sit down with you. I mean, if Gavin Newsom could sit down with Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk, you should be willing to sit down with people. Now, you did sit down with Candace Owens. Maybe sit down with someone like Brenda Tatum. Maybe sit down with someone like Ben Carson. Maybe sit down with someone like Anthony Bryan Logan. I mean, if you're not going to talk to some of the prominent, like we know, like so-called prominent conservatives like Ben Carson, talk to Larry Elder. He's a good one. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good representative, if you will, of America First, who is a black individual. Maybe talk to ABL and Brandon Tatum. These are YouTubers. Maybe talk to people who have these values so you can understand why we exist. Because at the bare minimum, if all you had to say was you don't understand it, that would have been more respectful and it would have been worth having a conversation. But if you're going to be an ass about it, excuse my French, excuse my language, you're going to be a jerk, well then, I don't care about your feelings. The reason why you don't understand why people like me exist is because you choose not to ask why. Ask why. Well, you know what? How about I'm just going to be offensive right back at you? I decided this year, you guys, I'm not going to be so nice. You come at my neck, I'm coming for yours. Don, you came at mine. So how about you shut the hell up, go on with your gay ass, and continue to be stupid about black Americans who are America First. Go ahead and be offensive because I'll be offensive right back at you. I don't even care. Oh no, take the high road, be nice about it. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm not doing that. I did that all last year. Try to be nice about it. I'm not doing that. I already got to be nice to the Eagles because the Eagles fans because they won the Super Bowl. So yeah, nah, I don't care. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that unbelievably offensive Democrats like Don Lemon, like your Jasmine Crockett's and your AOCs, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that these types of comments are okay. Yeah, I think you're dumb. I think you're asinine, but I also think you're a jerk for that. And if you're gonna be a jerk to me and people like me, well then I'm gonna come out and call you a gay ass jerk. So you guys get in the comments, let me know what you thought about what he had to say about this, because the fact that Chris Cuomo came out and said, hey, I think were you high when you said this, is kind of proof in the pudding that the Democrats just don't know what they're doing. And if you're going to get anywhere, obviously you have to stop doing that. That's just not, it's not working for you. It's obviously not. So Don, shut the hell up. Stop being a jerk. Stop being so divisive. Just ask, why do we exist? And sit down with a black conservative America First. Like, just sit down with a black America First conservative and you might get the answer. It is as simple as that. You guys let me know. Thank you all for watching. You guys have a good day. Well, good night. Good evening.